And my why is really centered around doing everything that I can with my time and talent to create a better world for my kids to grow up into. And when it came to the political polarization, I didn't know what to do about this whole toxic polarization thing. It's pretty overwhelming. I read a book by a guy named Tony Woodleaf. It gave me a framework to think about the issue of toxic polarization. And what Tony said in the book was that the media and like the national forces in Washington, D.C., they kind of increase their power and influence the more that like us regular people feel like we can't talk to the people in our own communities about the things we really, really care about. And I thought, oh, well, so if people knew that, if they felt like they could talk to one another, and oh, because that's the other thing Tony said. Tony was like, the truth is, there is a small percentage of people on, if there's like a bell curve of people, there's a small percentage on each side that are really toxically polarized, and Heart and Mind has done some amazing work in this area. But they are a very, very small percentage of the population. The vast majority of us can have these conversations, but we feel scared because all we see in the media is this toxic polarization, and nobody wants to get screamed at. Nobody wants to have that experience, right? What if we proved to people that they could have these conversations? And so I was lucky enough, that's how I came to find Heart and Mind. I got connected to you through wanting to make a film about this. And like, so we went to all these places in America that have a reputation for being pretty divided. We went to Georgia, we went to Atlanta, we went to Pittsburgh, and we went to Arizona, all these places that had experienced like very close elections, very controversial things. And we talked to them about like the most controversial issues. We did not shy away. And the first one we in Atlanta, I'll never forget Jacqueline from Heart and Mind called me and she was like, should we cancel? Because they were having these huge police protests and we were going to go there and talk about policing. And you know what happened? Americans rose to the occasion and nobody fought with each other. Nobody left. What they found is that they don't change their mind about anything that we bring them there to talk about, but they change their mind about how they feel about the people on the other side, which is actually the most incredible thing when you think about. I loved how Gordon talked about the fragility of our American experiment. If we could be empowered with that knowledge that the people on the other side are just like us. They're Americans, worthy of citizenship, worthy of all the things. They just kind of might think about something differently, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean that I have to change my mind. It doesn't mean that they have to change their mind, but like the coexistence is part of the fabric of this country. You think about Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton hated each other's guts and like philosophically, but they worked together to create this incredible country.
Yeah.
Because I had always said I wouldn't do a documentary, actually, because documentaries are, and if you watch the documentary, you'll see it's an incredible weaving of like 100 million different things. It is so hard to do like a 70-minute story that really pulls people along and tells a story and leaves them feeling hopeful. And the only reason I did it was because I couldn't think of any other thing to do to
To
like to
make a
work in this
difference.
space.